I am here with a video that I haven't really done before. I have decided to film a June wrap-up because I read 6 books in June, and why not talk about them? I wasn't doing reading vlogs in June, so I didn't get to talk about them at all to you guys, so I thought I would do a wrap-up and briefly tell you about each one. I'll just talk about them in the order that I read them. So the first book that I read in June was Kill the Boy Band by Goldie Moldavsky. Yep. This is about, now I already forget if it was 3 or 4 girls. I think it was 4 girls, but a group of 15-year-old girls who are all friends because they're all super big fans of the same boy band called the Ruperts, and they're all like super obsessed with them, and they end up getting a hotel room at the same hotel that the boys are staying at one night so that they can hopefully meet them, and they accidentally kidnap one of the members of the band, and the story just kind of spirals out of control. Everything that they do to try to make the situation better or help themselves ends up making the situation worse, and it's just absolutely ridiculous. But I had so much fun reading this. I read it in 2 sittings. I thought it was absurd. It was just ridiculous. This story was absolutely ridiculous. The girls in the book were all terrible, horrible people. A lot of the stuff that happened was super cringy because it was so terrible. But it was so entertaining. It was so entertaining and I really enjoyed it, so I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. The next book that I read was 99% Mine by Sally Thorne, which I enjoyed. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I didn't like it as much as The Hating Game, and I think mostly I just wasn't a huge fan of the writing style in this one. So this is about a young woman who is renovating and getting ready to sell her grandmother's cottage who has passed away. A very old friend from when she was a little kid is the person who's been hired to renovate the house, and he's living in a tent in the backyard while it's happening and she's living in the cottage, and it's just her trying to not do anything about her feelings for him, and that's basically what it's about. I thought it was very sweet and it was very cute. I just didn't really like the way time passed and the way memories were talked about. I don't really know how to describe it. Sometimes I found it hard to decipher whether we were still talking about a memory or we were talking about something new. Just the way like scenes transitioned and stuff sometimes I wasn't a huge fan of, but I did still enjoy it. And I'm glad that I read it, and I would like to continue reading more books by Sally Thorne. The next book that I read in June was Alex Approximately by Jen Bennett, which I really enjoyed. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. It's about this girl who is a part of this old, like, classic movie forum online, and she's been talking to this guy, Alex, and she ends up moving across the country to live with her dad, who lives in the same town that Alex lives in. And Alex doesn't know that she's moved to town, but he's been trying to convince her to come visit him so that they can meet, and basically it's about her trying to secretly find out who Alex is before telling him that she's there, but she ends up meeting someone who is Alex and she just doesn't know it, and it's very like You've Got Mail-ish, and it was very cute and very sweet, and there were some deep moments, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I did think it was a little long. I felt like there were some scenes that were kind of unnecessary and didn't really need to be there. But overall, I really did enjoy it. And I immediately watched You've Got Mail when I was done reading this. And then I read Brave Like Lily by Richard Cardenas. This is the story of a 13-year-old boy who is dealing with the death of his older sister, who was shot by a police officer. And it's just him kind of going through his grief of losing his sister and his confusion of how it happened, and about him basically trying to fight for justice for his sister. And I thought it was a really sweet middle grade story. I think a lot of 12, 13-year-olds and 11-year-olds could get a lot out of it. It's simply written so it's easy to read really easily, but it's not so simple that it's like dumbed down, I guess. I feel like it's a perfect middle grade story with a deep, important topic with some cute scenes in it as well. So I thought it was really well done, and I think it's a great middle grade story. So I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. And then I read Awkward by Svetlana Chimakova, which is a graphic novel. And this is about a girl who is new at school, and she is mean to the like loser kid because she realizes that he's like the loser kid and she doesn't want to be associated with that, but then she feels terrible about it. And so the story is mostly about her trying to apologize and redeem herself, and also getting to know him, because they're both in after-school activities that kind of have to do with each other, because the two different groups that they're in are like fighting against each other for something. And I thought it was so cute and a lot of fun, and it just warmed my heart, and I thought it was adorable, and I liked the artwork, and it was cute, and again, perfect for 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds. I think they would really enjoy it, and I gave this 4 stars also. And the last book that I read in June was A Very Large Expanse of Sea by Tahira Mafi, which takes place in 2002, and the main character is in grade 10, which I loved because I was also in grade 10 in 2002. The main character is from Iran, and she wears a hijab, so because it's like the year after 9/11, people are really terrible about it, and it's about her kind of dealing with everyone at school and in public with just the fact that she wears a scarf around her head, and also about her meeting this really, really sweet boy, and he was super sweet. I really liked the boy in it, and I thought the story was really important, and it had a lot of things in it that can really help you like learn and kind of see what people have to deal with that a lot of other people don't even think about. And some of the scenes were like really heart-wrenching and like just tugged at my heartstrings. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really well done. I just thought the main character was kind of annoying sometimes. Like, she was so back and forth with everything. Like, she would change her mind and change her mind back so many times it kind of got old. But that's basically my only critique about it, was just that portion was a little annoying. But other than that, I thought it was really good. So I gave this 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. No 5-star books in June, but a lot of really enjoyable, entertaining books. So that is my June wrap-up. I don't know if I'm going to do this every month, but I read a lot of books in June, so I thought I'd tell you about them. Bye! Have a good day.